the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by Donorbox.
What does your case for support look like? Does it focus on what you do, or does it dive deep into why donors should care and the impact they can make? Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Jenna, Education and Community Engagement Manager here at Donorbox. We are here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. Today, I'm joined by Britton Stalker, our fundraising coach and strategist here at Donorbox, and we are diving into a critical question every nonprofit should be ready to answer this giving season. Why should I give to your organization? Welcome, Britt. I know this is a topic that you are super passionate about, and I'm excited to pick your brain today.
Hey, Jenna, for sure. You know, my journey into this work, it started when I was an executive director of a Seattle nonprofit supporting families unhoused. And I would say, Jenna, that experience, it opened my eyes to the incredible power of storytelling, especially in breaking down so many stigmas that exist surrounding family homelessness. And I will tell you, in my coaching sessions with so many global nonprofits, I've noticed a common thread. When I ask them, why are you doing what you do? There often is this hesitation. There's so much confusion. It's like they're so immersed in the day-to-day grind. They're always moving 10 steps ahead that they completely lose sight of their larger purpose. And I think, Jenna, that leads to so many misunderstandings regarding why donors choose to support their cause. Does that sound familiar to anything you experienced in your nonprofit journey, Jenna?
Yes, absolutely. I have seen this happen a lot with nonprofits that we work with, and it's so easy to fall into that trap. We assume that people understand our mission and that they will automatically want to support it. But the reality, I think it's much different than that. And that's why having a clear and powerful case for support is so important, especially at year end, but really all year round, right? So I'm really eager to dive in. For those who may not be familiar with the term case for support or a case statement, what exactly is it and why does it matter so much?
Oh, yes. Great question. So a case statement or a case for support, it isn't a long document. It isn't this complicated piece of writing. What it is it's just a few sentences. It's short, it's simple, it's to the point, and it's an explanation of why your work matters and why donors should care. It's really all about connecting what you do to the impact donors can make by getting involved. And think of it as your nonprofit story, told in a way that helps donors see the importance of their role. You know, again, it's not about listing all the things you do, but rather focusing on why your mission is urgent and how their support makes a meaningful difference. And I think, Jenna, once you've got that down, it is going to be the foundation for all your donor communications.
I think that is such an important myth to bust. It's not about sitting down and writing a big document. It really is just a few impactful sentences that get to the heart of why donors should support you, right?
Right, exactly. And your case for support, I think of it of what you often talk about, Jenna. It's this 3C formula: clear, concise, and compelling. It is absolutely not about giving every detail of your organization's work. Let's not do that. It is about capturing the essence of why donors should care in a way that's easy for them to understand and act on.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. But I can imagine some listeners might be thinking, oh, I don't have time to write anything formal right now. It's already so busy. So what would you say to someone who feels overwhelmed at the idea of putting together even a short case for support right now?
Oh my goodness, I get it. I've been there, but here's the thing. Your case for support, it doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be polished right out of the gate. This is really about getting clear on your message, because once you have that in place, you can use it everywhere. That might be in a quick email, a conversation with a donor, one of the many targeted appeals that you're sending. And once that's done, it's going to save you time because you're going to have that core message ready to go when you need it the most.
That's a great point. Put in a little tiny bit of time now, and it's going to save you a lot of time this giving season. Okay, so let's talk about the key ingredients to a case for support. What do you need to include in those few sentences to make up a really great case statement?
So I break it down into 3 main parts. First things first, get real about the problems your organization is tackling. Whether you're in animal welfare, homelessness, education, or mental health, start by showing just how widespread, how pervasive, how pressing the issue is that you're trying to address. And don't just throw out statistics, make it personal. Do you have a compelling story about an individual or family that highlights the real-world impact of your work? And we know this. Here's a tip that we both love. It has to do with this concept of ethical storytelling. Avoid falling into that savior and subject narrative. Instead, focus on celebrating the resilience, the triumphs of those you serve. And I look back at my time as an executive director, and I discovered something so shocking through the donor feedback that I was collecting. Supporters didn't want to hear just about us. They wanted to hear the real voices of the people we were helping. I remember there was a time there was a working family living in their car right down the street from where I live, newly fresh out of the hospital with their baby. And I remember by sharing their story about how they were working parents in a high-cost area like Seattle, no support, facing everyday challenges. By allowing myself to share these firsthand stories, we created a genuine connection that statistics simply couldn't capture. Emphasize these inspiring stories. Showcase the real impact of donor contributions while steering completely clear of that savior complex. And I think this approach is going to help all of us build a sense of community among our supporters. And remember, personal stories, they resonate far more deeply than just numbers. But don't be afraid to include a few well-chosen statistics because that's going to convey the urgency without overwhelming your audience. Now let's talk about your solution. How is your organization actively addressing this issue? Detail your unique strategies, your measurable outcomes, not just the outputs, like the number of families helped, but talk about the specific benefits gained. And connect your solutions back to your mission, because that's going to illustrate how your program aligns with your overall goals. And this is going to bring the clarity that you need to show your audience you're organized, you're clear on your why, and how their support leads to real proven solutions. And finally, highlight what makes your organization unique. Why should someone choose to support you? Convince your audience that you're an organization they genuinely can be excited about investing in. That might be your innovative approach, your deep community roots, how you relationship build, or where do you fit in the broader discussion of the area of focus that you're trying to address. When your audience understands the deeper implications of the issue and how that positions you as unique, they're more likely to feel motivated to support your cause. Only 3 key ingredients to remember. You can do this.
That is a really clear framework. So we've got identifying the problem, your unique solution, and why donors should care. So let me bring this into a more tangible example for our listeners. Say my nonprofit provides meals to children who may not have had enough to eat at home outside of meals that they get at school. So let me try to break this down for a second using the formula that you just provided. So the problem is there are children in our community who rely on school meals as their only source of food during the day. And when school is out, these children often go hungry, putting their health, development, and future at risk. That is a problem. Now, the unique solution could be that our organization provides nutritious meals to these children outside of school hours, ensuring they have access to food even when they're not in school. And our team is already embedded in the community. They have a strong network of volunteers and knows exactly how to deliver these meals where they're most needed and when they're most needed. So this makes our organization really uniquely positioned to solve this problem and uniquely positioned against other organizations who may also be trying to solve this problem. And I think why donors should care. So without donor support, these children will continue to have meal insecurity. So by giving today, donors can ensure that kids in their community have the food they need to grow and learn and thrive. And that gift will directly provide meals to children who need them the most, making it an immediate impact on their lives. Hopefully I got that right.
Yes, exactly right. I'm giving you a virtual applause. That is such a great example. And that was extremely simple, wasn't it? That wasn't difficult to do at all.
Yes, awesome. So this has been so helpful. And I know that our listeners are going to walk away with a much clearer sense of how to craft a simple case for support that really resonates with donors without feeling overwhelmed by the process. So do you have any other quick tips that we can use in this formula as well?
Yes. Personalize your approach. Every donor, we know this, has their reasons for giving. Make sure your case for support reflects that. And instead of a one-size-fits-all message, create those segmented versions using the donor data from your CRM. I just have to say here, this is now so easy. We have a fabulous Donorbox CRM, segmentation on the fly, dynamic list feature. It auto-updates to your criteria so that you can speak directly to each donor's interests. For instance, some donors might be passionate about tackling larger systemic challenges. Others might want to focus more on the human side of your work through those personal stories. Stick with the core messaging, but don't forget to tailor it to your specific donor audience. Next, reflect and update. Your case for support isn't a one-time effort. As your organization grows and faces new challenges, your case should evolve too. That means engage in regular reflection. Ask yourself, what were recent successes? What were your new initiatives? Has there been a shift in community needs? And you're going to want to update your case to keep it relevant based on these questions. Because this shows donors that you're making progress and the delivery of your mission is staying responsive to community needs and what matters most. And finally, but most importantly, after you've crafted a few different iterations, test it out. Try it on different audiences, your board, team members, family, volunteers, until you find the version that just resonates the best. You want to make sure it's unquestionably clear. People should instantly understand your mission and the impact their support will make.
Yes, absolutely. Test, test, test. I often tell organizations to craft 10 to 15 iterations of their case statement and then test them to see what resonates the most. And I know that sounds like a lot, but using this formula, you can really create a lot of different iterations pretty easily. Just set aside a couple of hours in your afternoon and take these and do a simple 5-second test. Ask your board members, your volunteers, your staff, what do they remember from that case statement? What do they think your organization does? And what do they think your impact on this world is? And this is a great way to ensure that your message is hitting home. And if your audience walks away with a clear understanding of your case statement, then you know that you're on the right track and you can circle a few of your favorites.
That's great advice, Jenna. And I think this is a great time to ask our audience. I want you to reflect on the question Jenna asked earlier. How can you tell your organization's story in a way that reconnects with your supporters, their why, and strengthens your bond with them? So how are you feeling now about this? Do you feel a little bit less overwhelmed and more empowered to start writing your case for support? Oh my goodness, I truly hope so.
I hope so too. And speaking of support, we have something special for our listeners linked in the show notes. We have a fantastic case for support worksheet to help you craft that compelling narrative. Again, just a few sentences. So this is a step-by-step activity that will guide you through exactly what Britt just shared with us. And while you're there, go ahead and check out the link in the show notes to sign up for our appeal writing workshop taking place on October 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And this session is going to be a great way to use your newly crafted case statement to refine your fundraising appeals just in time for year-end giving. Britt, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
Hey, it was my pleasure, Jenna.
And thank you for joining us on the Nonprofit Podcast. I hope you've left with the confidence to take a small step today that will make a big difference tomorrow. Be sure to click the download button on your podcast player, then leave the Nonprofit Podcast a review, or give it a thumbs up if you're listening to the Nonprofit Podcast on YouTube. Your review helps others find us. You're here to help others. We're here to help you. Until next time, stay inspired.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is Donorbox, helping you help others.